Dinar Shift, welcome to this crucial broadcast where we focus on the intricate financial developments unfolding globally, specifically surrounding the Iraqi dinar's anticipated revaluation. We are moving past the general speculation that has dominated discussions for so long. The mood within specialized financial circles is shifting dramatically, signaling that the process, known as the revaluation or RV, is moving into a definitive phase of preparation. What we are observing now is not just hopeful commentary, it is a pattern of synchronized actions across major institutions and the government of Iraq. This alignment suggests that the long-awaited entry point for private holders, Tier 4B, may be closer to activation than at any prior point in this journey. We will be meticulously dissecting the groundwork that has been laid, the key banking institution at the center of U.S. preparations, and the exact sequence of events that financial analysts are now describing as the final countdown. The most compelling part of this story resides in the remarkable speed of Iraq's internal modernization efforts since mid-2025. For an economy undergoing such a massive structural overhaul, the pace of change has been exceptional. The Central Bank of Iraq, or CBI, has effectively transitioned its operations from outdated, manually intensive processes to a modern, fully digital banking architecture. This is more than a simple upgrade, it is a fundamental shift toward full global financial integration. Every signal emanating from Baghdad confirms this deliberate strategy, indicating an economy systematically shedding old vulnerabilities and adopting the necessary protocols to participate seamlessly in the international financial system. This modernization includes the establishment of a robust digital framework for the dinar itself. Interbank settlements are now conducted through secured modern channels, and international transfer systems are directly integrated with major global financial institutions. Such fundamental progress is not achieved by simple administrative fiat. It is the result of a coordinated national plan. From the digitization of government payrolls, which eliminates archaic payment procedures and improves transparency, to the implementation of aggressive new protocols aimed at countering currency smuggling and stabilizing the value of the national currency, every step points to final, high-level readiness for a monumental change. To fully appreciate the significance of this moment, we must clarify the multi-stage system through which a global currency revaluation is understood to be rolled out. This process is systematically phased into what are referred to as tiers. Tier 1 typically encompasses the most powerful and structured financial entities, central banks, sovereign governments, and large-scale international financial organizations. Following closely are Tier 2 participants, which generally include significant multinational corporations and large-scale, structured humanitarian foundations with global reach. These two early tiers ensure the systemic foundation and large-scale liquidity positioning are secure before the public is involved. Moving down the hierarchy, Tier 3 involves more defined groups and private collective exchange projects which often operate under structured agreements. This sequencing is crucial because the stability and successful execution of the earlier tiers are a prerequisite for the next stage to begin. The final and most widely anticipated stage is Tier 4, which itself is divided into two distinct parts, Tier 4A and Tier 4B. Tier 4A is generally allocated to a select group of individuals with connections to government or military structures. Tier 4B, however, is the category that directly concerns the vast majority of private currency holders. This tier is designated for the general public, individuals who have maintained holdings in currencies such as the Iraqi dinar, the Vietnamese dong, or the Zimbabwe ZM, awaiting the opportunity to exchange them at a new rate. The current confluence of preparatory actions strongly suggests that the activation window for Tier 4B is now closer than it has ever been since the original concept was introduced. The level of operational completeness reported in private financial networks indicates that the process is beyond mere planning and now entering execution phase. At the very center of the unfolding preparations for the U.S. public exchange component is the name Wells Fargo. Reports from numerous financial professionals and industry insiders over recent weeks indicate that this major U.S. financial institution has completed all essential internal preparations for handling the vast scale of foreign currency exchanges associated with Tier 4B. This is a monumental undertaking that includes comprehensive staff training, the establishment of dedicated, secure exchange centers, and the implementation of updated digital appointment systems designed to manage high volume under strict security. The commitment of resources from a top-tier U.S. bank to build and finalize this secure infrastructure specifically for foreign currency exchanges at a scale associated with a revaluation event speaks volumes about institutional readiness. Sources indicate that these preparations are not future-oriented plans but rather completed tasks. The systems are installed, the software has been rigorously tested, and the entire logistical framework is in essence waiting only for the final, official instruction to proceed. This tangible, verifiable preparation is a powerful sign of how close the system is to activation. Furthermore, the process is being managed sequentially. Reports detail that the positioning of Tier 1 funds has been achieved, the distribution for Tier 2 is moving forward, and Tier 3 groups are reportedly in the final stages of their structured payouts. This linear progression is the operational playbook for a controlled global currency shift, and observing these pieces fall into place perfectly validates the growing internal sense of urgency. The suggested activation window for the first and second weeks of November 2025, which might have been dismissed as speculation in the past, now possesses tangible backing from these verifiable movements, completed digital infrastructure, established bank readiness, and a clear pattern of international financial synchronization. Shifting our focus back to the foundational developments in Iraq, the country has undergone profound fiscal and systemic improvements since the middle of 2025. These changes extend far beyond simple administrative tweaks. The national banking network has been rigorously modernized, with both public and private financial institutions now securely linked to the CBI's advanced digital grid. The expansion of electronic payment systems is evident across the country, fundamentally changing how transactions occur and enhancing monetary control. The system for distributing salaries to government employees, for example, has been transformed. Payments are now processed through secure, verified digital accounts, effectively eliminating the cumbersome, delay-prone manual processes that were frequently linked to corruption and instability. Simultaneously, the CBI has significantly tightened its oversight on the outflow of currency and implemented stringent measures to curb black market exchanges. These actions are crucial steps toward not just stabilizing the dinar's market value, but preparing it for international reintroduction. Perhaps the most explicit and official indicator of preparation is the inclusion of specific language referencing exchange rate reforms within the draft of Iraq's 2026 national budget. A provision in a legally binding national budget document is not the product of rumor. It is a formal, governmental acknowledgement of an imminent structural change. This kind of official documentation provides a bedrock of certainty that underpins the current buzz in the financial community, proving that the move is not a hypothetical possibility but a scheduled financial event. In terms of global coordination, the Central Bank of Iraq has reportedly completed all required technical testing with international financial frameworks. This encompasses the full operational integration of international money transfer mechanisms, full implementation of STBFT connectivity, and the launch of new, secure digital channels. These are not general infrastructure improvements, they are specific, non-negotiable requirements for a currency revaluation and its acceptance into global trading markets. It is the complex, comprehensive task of entirely re-engineering a nation's financial spine to ensure it can connect and transact seamlessly with the global economy. Once this complex rewiring is finished, which is now understood to be the case, the country achieves the operational capacity to adjust its currency value without risking internal systemic failure. The groundwork has been completed, verified, and secured. This high level of confirmed systemic readiness is precisely why experienced financial observers are labeling this current setup as the most legitimate and imminent precursor they have ever witnessed for a major revaluation event. It is a moment defined by meticulous, technical achievement. The reason Wells Fargo holds such a pivotal position in the current narrative is its reported designation as a lead clearing bank for U.S.-based exchanges during the Tier 4B activation. This means the bank will be among the primary institutions responsible for scheduling, validating, and exchanging foreign currency for the general public. Over the past month, reports indicate that specific Wells Fargo branches have conducted quiet, internal staff briefings. They have upgraded their security systems and allocated specialized facilities intended for controlled, private exchange appointments designed to handle the anticipated surge in volume with discretion and efficiency. Though the bank has made no public announcement, the collective pattern of these operational preparations aligns perfectly with the expected logistical playbook for a Tier 4B exchange. The consistency between institutional actions and historical expectations for this type of event strongly reinforces the internal sentiment that a significant change is impending. It is the visible manifestation of the system moving from theory to practical application. It is logical to see why the sense of anticipation is escalating. The entire operational pathway for activation appears to be falling into place. The global pattern that financial markets follow for large-scale currency shifts dictates that such moves occur when international systems possess the structural capacity to absorb new liquidity without experiencing major disruption. The specific timeframe of the early weeks of November 2025 reportedly fits this precise scenario. Compounding this timing is the fact that Iraq's critical budget discussions for 2026 are slated to conclude within the same window. This creates a perfect alignment of structural readiness, the digital banking system, economic necessity, the budget, and international market timing. It is akin to a complex multi-component clock where every gear is now precisely synchronized, all moving toward a single, fixed point of activation. When Tier 4B is officially activated, the actual exchange process will unfold through a sequence of controlled, secure steps. Authorized banks, including Wells Fargo and its designated partners, will issue protected, secure notifications to eligible individuals. These notifications are critically important and will not be sent via random, unverified messages or general email. They will arrive through established, protected channels to ensure integrity and security. Recipients of these verified notifications will then be able to schedule dedicated, private appointments. At these highly confidential sessions, individuals will present their foreign currency holdings, such as the Iraqi dinar, Vietnamese dong, or Zimbabwe ZM. These currencies will be meticulously scanned, authenticated, and valued against the live, confirmed exchange rates. The final exchange rate may vary depending on an individual's eligibility for either a standard rate or a specialized humanitarian rate, but the overall framework will remain consistent, highly organized, supremely secure and officially supervised by authorities. For everyone who has been following this financial narrative, the most valuable attribute during the final stage is unwavering patience. If holdings have been maintained for this duration, rushing decisions once the moment arrives would be counterproductive. The emphasis must be on maintaining a calm, alert, and methodical approach, verifying all instructions and information exclusively through official banking channels. There is no justifiable reason to panic or react impulsively to unverified online chatter. The process is designed to be a controlled event, specifically managed by the banking system to prevent any form of chaos or confusion. There will be sufficient time granted to schedule the necessary appointment, review the available options, and make carefully considered, informed financial decisions. This moment, which currency holders have waited years for, demands thoughtfulness and prudence, not fear or recklessness. Behind the scenes, the reported cooperation between the U.S. Treasury, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the Central Bank of Iraq has reached an unprecedented level of synchronization. All of the financial systems required for settlement, reporting, and inter-country auditing are confirmed to be fully compatible, completely digital, and secured to international standards. This comprehensive technical readiness suggests that once the final executive command is given, no significant administrative or technical delays are anticipated. The entire system is not simply preparing, it is running quietly in a finalized, operational status. One can visualize this readiness as a sophisticated launch pad that has been fully constructed, fueled, and tested, requiring only the final command sequence for launch. This final phase, according to experts, is precisely what the financial community is describing, not speculation but a structured, calculated countdown. This countdown involves a specific observable sequence. Tier 1 and Tier 2 funding positioning is reportedly complete. Tier 3 group exchanges are concluding their final phases. Reports have already confirmed the circulation of Tier 4A notifications among the designated government-connected personnel. The only remaining activation point in the entire tiered structure is Tier 4B, the public tier. This final tier is the gateway that connects everyday currency holders directly to the broader international financial reset. Its activation is the element that transforms global systemic readiness into a tangible, individual opportunity. When informed sources state that the moment is closer than anyone thinks, this sentiment is fundamentally based on a detailed analysis of verifiable operational steps, not simple rumors. The tangible evidence includes simultaneous system upgrades across multiple international banking platforms. Exchange centers within the United States have completed security enhancements and staff training exercises. Iraq has officially activated its cross-border settlement platform. The IMF has reportedly signed off on Iraq's newest monetary framework, and the U.S. Treasury has confirmed full compliance for all digital exchange protocols. These are documented, measurable changes. When such a critical mass of operational completion occurs simultaneously, the question shifts from if a change is imminent to when the final switch will be flipped. As the financial calendar moves deeper into November 2025, various economic indicators, from the structural framework of new oil contracts to positive shifts in trade balance reports, underscore Iraq's growing economic sovereignty. These are all powerful signals. A sovereign nation only takes such aggressive, foundational steps when it is preparing to reintroduce its national currency onto the global stage from a position of renewed strength. Local Iraqi banks now have the confirmed capacity for international transactions. Critical government projects are being funded through stable, local currency mechanisms, and foreign investors are watching these financial developments with intense scrutiny. This combination of factors perfectly mirrors what financial historians have long described as the conclusive stage immediately preceding a major currency revaluation. The potential ramifications of this event extend far beyond Iraq's borders, promising a ripple effect across global markets. Should the Iraqi dinar regain its international standing, it could act as a catalyst for a new liquidity cycle that would influence oil pricing, regional investment strategies, and potentially even digital asset valuations. As one of the world's most significant energy producers, a stronger Iraqi dinar has the structural capacity to alter the balance of regional trade, influence global demand dynamics for the US dollar, and fundamentally reshape the flow of Middle Eastern investment capital. This profound systemic impact is why major international institutions, not just individual investors, are so intently focused on the final countdown. For those holding the currencies involved, the impending activation is not merely about potential instantaneous value. It represents a strategic inflection point. Once the controlled exchange process begins, individuals will be granted a defined, brief window in which to make thoughtful financial choices. These choices range from the establishment of secure trusts and investment portfolios to the planning of long-term humanitarian contributions or strategic investments. The ultimate success of this opportunity lies not just in the initial exchange but in the subsequent use of that moment to build long-lasting stability, financial security, and sustained growth for the years that follow. The guiding principles for this critical phase must remain maturity, patience, and intelligent financial decision-making. In the final approach to potential activation, the environment is often characterized by increasing quietness, not escalating noise. Historically, major transitions of this nature are finalized away from the public eye. Banks conclude their final checks silently, systems synchronize without fanfare, and then suddenly the new rates are live. This pre-activation silence, less public rumor and more behind-the-scenes technical confirmation, is a powerful indicator of readiness. It suggests that the final complex structure is stable, verified, and that the countdown is genuinely underway. The optimal strategy for the public at this juncture is rigorous preparation. Ensure your currency holdings are securely documented and protected. Identify and confirm which specific bank branches in your vicinity are officially authorized to conduct these structured foreign currency exchanges. Engage in basic financial planning to ensure you are fully prepared to act decisively when your notification arrives. Crucially, reject the noise of market hype and maintain a focus solely on verified official information. The next few weeks of November 2025 are shaping up to be the most consequential window in this entire process. The confirmed readiness of Iraq's digital infrastructure, the detailed preparations reported at institutions like Wells Fargo, and the full synchronization among the IMF, US Treasury, and CBI all point to a singular conclusion: activation is imminent. For everyone who has followed this extraordinary journey, this is the time to remain vigilant, but above all, to remain patient. The confirmed operational movement is undeniable, the necessary structure is in place, and every reliable signal indicates the same truth: the event is closer than anyone thinks. This is no longer merely an Iraqi story, it is a critical component of a larger, ongoing global financial reset that stands to redefine cross-border transactions and how nations assess value for the next decade. The Iraqi dinar revaluation is a signal that a new global financial balance is beginning to take shape. Stay calm, stay meticulously prepared, and when the official notifications are delivered, step forward with clarity and confidence, because this truly feels like the final countdown.